Fine. And yeah, I started recording now. Great. Thank you so much. Okay. For this workshop, I would request everyone to sign an NDA with InfoSec 40C. Okay. What is this NDA is all about? We would be dealing with the live targets sometimes. We'll have some simulated or the intended targets made specially for this particular penetration testing. Like we said, this workshop is going to be more practical, right? We'll be dealing with live targets also sometimes. So you may face some situations, you may be in a situation that you may have to handle some real sensitive information. So I don't want any of this sensitive information to go out, or I don't want you to disclose at any terms. So that is why we'll be having a non-disclosure agreement between you as well as InfoSec 40C. And I'll be sharing the NDA document through mail to each and everyone. Okay. And I want you to get it signed and mail me by today or by tomorrow within 2 days. That'll be good. Okay. And so straight away we'll get into the topics. My screen visible? Is any one of you?
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you so much. Okay.
And sorry to interrupt. Would you be sharing the recording with us as well, or?
Yes.
All right.
We'll discuss about that. Okay, sure. Okay, like we said, what is this topic? As you are all aware of the topic, penetration testing workshop in real time. Okay, everyone here must be aware of penetration testing. I think should be aware of penetration testing. What is penetration testing? I'll be giving very quick introduction in just in 30 seconds. Okay, once we started. But before that, I'd like to introduce myself. Myself, Sam. I'm a senior penetration tester and a security analyst with Securium Solutions and InfoSec 40C. And I work with forensics, I work with incident response and threat intelligence as well. And I help people and I consult people for information security and to build and help them to build their infrastructure into more secure way. Okay. And almost certified with almost lots of certifications, LPT, the necessary, almost all the necessary certification that you need for a penetration testers. And I deal with various projects, information security projects, and that is going to help you a lot for this particular workshop. I can assure you that. And I'd like to hear from you as well. Very quick introduction. I think I can see a few candidates, so we can have a quick introduction about you. We'll start with first. Aaron, you can start.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Aaron Kitchen. I am from Eastern Kentucky with a 15-year background in finance, in internal audit most recently, and as part of that position, was responsible for hiring a lot of external candidates to come in and conduct vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. And at that time, I took a real interest in the topic, and so here I am.
Great, thank you so much. And Ahmad?
Hi gents, my name is Ahmad. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I do not have any technical background regarding the security here. That's why I choose this, because I wish to develop my career or change my orientation to be a security analyst or security expert. That's what I hope.
Okay, great. Amir? Amir, you there? You can unmute yourself. Okay, Bhupesh?
Sorry, yes, I'm here. Apologies. My name's Amir. I'm from Australia. I'm really just starting out in this area. My background is 20 plus years of security, but and in an authorizations management setting with SAP, SAP the application. So This is just for me really to understand whether I want to pursue this as an area of interest or not.
Okay, good. Thank you. Bhupesh? Please unmute yourself and you can talk. Bhupesh? Okay, can I hear from Etan?
Yes.
Go.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi from Kosovo. I'm Ertan. Actually, I'm working as cybersecurity manager. Also, I work almost 10 years in banking sector and education sector. So I'm excited to start with you guys and to learn and add value. Thanks.
Thank you. Gooseman? Or Prasad Gizmon?
Hi, my name is Prasad. Actually, I'm a site IT security administrator. I just enrolled in some of the courses in the InfoSec 40C. So, and I received the notification. So, just to, I'm new to this actually, like exactly new for all the penetration or the security background. Thanks for inviting, and let's see what I can get from the workshop.
Sure. Thank you so much. I think that's enough of the introduction part. Okay. And one more thing to mention here about you, I will be needing a few more information. Sorry, my throat is not well. Pardon me for that. Okay, so I'll be needing a few more information. I have a Google form with me. I will be mailing that to you, and please reply me with that. The main intention or the main motive of this Google form is to fine tune the workshop structure and the flow, because I'm not sure. Like one I've mentioned, I think was very much new or very much beginner into the penetration testing. If I straight away skip into the techniques or the procedures that we are going to follow in the penetration testing, I don't want this thing to be very messy for them to understand. So I'll just fine tune the syllabus that you need. That is very important for you to carry out the penetration testing. So I'll be having these same questions in the Google form. I'd like to name and the nature of work that you're working currently and how long you are in cybersecurity specifically. And how do you consider yourself a beginner or experienced or an expert? And how's your networking skills are? You need it. Whatever your role may be, you can in future you may work in cloud or you may work in web application or you may work in IoT or whatever be the irrespective of your domain that you're going to choose in cybersecurity, but networking skills are very mandatory. Okay, so that's why how's your networking skills are, and how's your penetration testing skills? Have you tried it before or have you heard it before, and how is your skills are in that, and what are you really expecting from this workshop? So I want you guys to simply answer these questions, okay, in the form. I'll share the Google form as well with the mail, and I want it to get filled. Okay, so it will really help us to fine tune the workshop, especially for you guys. Got it? Okay, so how the workshop flow will be and what we're going to learn. And I think if you have attended the demo or the webinar that we have organized last week, you must be aware of what we're going to deal with the penetration testing workshop. So we'll be dealing with the standards, what we're going to use, and the pre-engagement activities, okay, the network basics, and traditional penetration testing methodologies in network, web application, wireless, and social engineering. This is very in demand and very mandatory penetration testing skills that everyone should possess. Okay, and we have real-time assessment or assignment after each session. Yes, today also we have a particular assignment session as well. I will be requesting everyone to complete that before the next session. Okay, you may think like the first session is always going to be a theoretical one. No, it's not going to be a theoretical one. You will be learning a lot of things today. Okay, now How this session structure is going to be? Yes, we'll be dealing with standards, pre-engagement activities, scoping and scheduling, weaponization for our penetration testing workshop specifically, and the assignment. Okay, and assignment submission. Okay, that is how your each and every session, like at the last two will remain the same. We'll be having assignment and I'll be requesting you to submit your assignments. Okay, we'll validate it. Okay, group of me and the organizer, we will be validating your assignments and we'll proceed. Okay, then standards and it's necessary. Yes, I told you we would be discussing about penetration testing just for 30 seconds, right? Let me complete that as well. What is penetration testing and how it is going to differ from the vulnerability analysis? Yes, once you landed your career, once you planned for your career in cybersecurity, definitely everyone must have heard these words. Everyone keep on saying that vulnerability analysis, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing. And what is the difference is very simple. Your job is your role is very simple. Keep it very simple. And in simple terms, there is some vulnerability. You're going to find that out. That is vulnerability analysis. Okay, but we are not sure that it is really a vulnerability or not. So you're going to evaluate it. You're going to verify that. That is penetration testing. That's what the two terms of vulnerability analysis and penetration testing is. So we're going to do the same throughout the workshop. You'll be learning how you're going to do in real time world. Okay, that's why the name penetration testing in real world. So standards and its necessity. What is standards and what is its necessity when it comes to penetration testing? And you may have heard about compliance. What is this also? Where it comes and how we're going to use it really. Standards is a very necessary thing to carry out the penetration testing. Difference between standards and a compliance. Compliance tells you like what you're going to do. Standards will let you know how you're going to do. Very simple. Okay, so the standards are very necessary for a penetration tester for a security auditing that you want to carry out in any infrastructure, because that helps you to narrow down your penetration testing activities. We don't want any repetitive steps. We don't want any unnecessary steps. And we are not sure if we don't follow any standards, we would be in a maze. We won't be having any idea what we're going to do next. Okay, that is the necessity of standards. Standards are step-by-step procedures written or designed by some organization that you are going to carry out in penetration testing. Standards vary according to the organization who have developed or the penetration testers or the client, means the target. Okay, it depends on the requirement and the need. Okay, next. These are all few standards. We would be using these standards throughout our workshop. We have this LPT penetration tester, licensed penetration tester from AC Council. That is a proprietary standard. Okay, we'll be discussing about all these standards. We have OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project, Open Source Security Testing Methodology Manual, National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, and Information Security Management System, ISMS from ISO 27001. Okay, these are all the various standards we have, very famous standards we have. Okay, what is LPT, licensed penetration tester? This standard is actually a proprietary standard. It is not available for you for free. Okay, you may have to pay for it or you may have to get certified. It needs certified professionals to perform. If you want to do penetration testing based on this particular standard, you should have at least one personnel who is already certified with licensed penetration tester. You can do penetration testing by following their standard step-by-step procedure. Okay, and it is very well built for penetration testing of networks, wireless devices, and web applications. Correct? And OWASP, Open Web Application Security Projects. So we have the open standards. This is the open source standard. Anyone can use it freely. And it doesn't need any certified professionals to perform this. Almost all the clients are following this. All the clients require this to carry out any kind of penetration testing on their web application. If you master this particular standard, if you know the steps and if you know how to find out the vulnerabilities using the standards, you'll have high demand in the market, in the industry. Okay, it is especially very well built for the web application. It has clear methodologies, documentations, tools, techniques, technologies that you would be needing, you need to follow during your penetration testing against a web application. That's what WASP is, correct? And we have OSST-MM. This is also open source methodology. Okay, you don't need any kind of certifications for this as well. And it is also very well built for your security audit. Human penetration testing, physical, human is in the sense, you can say social engineering, physical, wireless, data networks. Okay, so once I complete all the 5 standards, right, I will be showing the documents also. I have some PDFs to show you. I will be showing that as well. Okay, and for data networks also, this is a very best standard. Got it? And we have NIST. NIST is an open source, but it needs attribution and it's not subjected to copyright. It's not, there is no copyright for you to use it, but you cannot use it. You need to give attribution for that you're using theirs. And it is very well built for various channels like web, network, wireless. Okay, but defining the resources for NIST is not clear that easy as the OSSTM or OWASP. Okay, and we have ISO. Yes, people have heard about ISO as compliance, but really where this particular ISMS standard comes, Information Security Management Standard. Yes, like I said, the particular penetration testing standards depends on the penetration tester, need, and the client, right? So they can choose it, which one they're going to use, isn't it? So this is a proprietary and a compliance. It is the particular penetration testing comes as a part inside the ISO 27001, and it needs certified professionals and organizations to be certified to perform penetration testing. There is no chance that you can just go and penetrate or you can follow this particular penetration testing using this standard. You have to be a certified professional for performing ISMS. And it's built for complete auditing of your organization. Once you have done with this, and your organization will get certified with ISO. Okay, so now let's see the documents that what I have for the standards. Okay, so this is a detailed methodology that what we have for OSSG. This is also another standard like OSST-MM. Okay, you have everything: switch security, router security, firewall security. Okay, why we need to do benefits, steps, application gateways, circuit level gateways. You will have each and everything. What are all the steps one by one? That is the purpose of standards in penetration testing. Okay, so simply if you just go for a course like CEH, okay, if you have done CEH already, I think so. Few of you must have done the CEH, right? If I ask you how will you do penetration testing, yes, CEH is having something about penetration testing, but the real negative point, the cons about the CEH is not clearly mentioned where you're going to use or how you're going to use. If I ask anyone like who's already CH certified, they will mention like I will do system hacking or I will do web application hacking using WASP. Yes, WASP is covered in CH as well, and I will do that. I will do this, and I will go for man in the middle. I will go for DOS. Yes, it is there, but it is not properly structured. That's a drawback with the CH. So you will have all these steps that you want to follow. Okay, steps to perform. What are you going to do? Trace route, analyzing the result, where the ICMP messages were dropped or rejected, each and everything, kind of checklist that you need to follow. That is the necessity of standards. Okay, same you have for NIST, you have for OSSTM. Okay, so you can see human security testing, physical security testing, wireless security testing. You can go for fragile artifacts. You can go for time, communication equipments, channel monitoring, moderating. Okay, everything what you're going to do. Okay, and it's very simple. See, the methods that you're going to carry out, the steps that you're going to carry out, it differs according to the standards. Okay, but the techniques that you're going to follow is very almost all this, everything is same. The tools that you're going to follow is going to be the same in OSSTM, LPT, WASP, everything is going to be same. What I'm going to do, but how are you going to do? That differs. Okay, so that's why we have this various different standards. So I'll be sharing this as well for you to download, to read, okay, through the drive link. Okay, threat modeling, vulnerability analysis, exploitation, post-exploitation, everything. Got it? Give me a second. Sorry. Okay, what's next? We have the standards. We know what is the use of standard, what we're gonna do. What is next? Pre-engagement activities. What is this pre-engagement activities? You can hear this word new, but few of you might have heard this or heard it already. So what is this pre-engagement activity and what's the need really? Again, pre-engagement activity is a foundation for your penetration testing. And this is the one that's going to verify, or this is going to help you to self-evaluate that how strong you are in your penetration testing, that how you're going to do the penetration testing, how you have executed your penetration testing. Okay, so it helps you to do organized pre-engagement activities. That is very important in penetration testing, that a penetration tester or a client should not overlook. If the client and the penetration tester fail to follow any kind of pre-engagement activities, it is going to be a total damage, collapse of your penetration testing. Your friend or your known person or anyone can ask you, I have a website, I have a network, just do penetration testing. Okay, and you say, yeah, I'll come tomorrow, I'll carry out my penetration testing. That's not how it works. You should not do penetration testing like that. If it is a single site, just a small site, maybe an informative site, maybe a profile, a landing page of a website, right? Or a single IP address. Okay, so can you do that? Can you do penetration testing for that? You can have this question. Can I do that for that? Like what really I'm going to do the pre-engagement activities. The thing is why we need to follow, you would be facing lots of legal issues. You'll be facing lots of legal issues because you will be in a position or you are the person who's going to deal with lots of sensitive information. Okay, so you will be having very sensitive information, bank details, usernames, passwords, telephone numbers, addresses, permanent addresses, right? And citizenship card numbers, everything. You would be having everything on your hand. So you are a master there. You rule them that for that moment. Okay, so you would be facing lots of legal issues in case if you have missed a single vulnerability. Okay, just for a case, we assume that you have done a penetration testing on your friend's website. Okay, and mistakenly by mistake you have missed a vulnerability that is a critical one. Okay, and just a week after a week, the site got exploited, hacked, and information got stolen. Okay, and there's no idea that it got hacked. However it looks, it is the same, but the data got leaked, the breach has happened. So the first thing that your friend is going to turn, it is against you because he have given the access to you, you worked on it, okay, but you don't have idea about this, how it happened. Because mistakes happen during the penetration testing also. You may leave some vulnerabilities that lies deep within. Okay, there are chances. So to avoid such kind of activities, to avoid legal issues, okay, to avoid unsatisfied customers, to avoid scope creeping, we need to do pre-engagement activities. Most of us skip this part, isn't it? Definitely. Most of us skip this part because this is a time consuming one. Okay, where two people needs to talk, two people needs to decide what they're going to do. This is where we fail most, but this is important thing that we need to follow. So the whole session, that today's session is going to be this pre-engagement activities. What we're going to follow, what are the documents that we should get signed, and what all these documents are. Okay, and this pre-engagement activity will start with determining the goal of the penetration testing. That's the beauty. So we can easily do penetration testing. Got it? Request for proposal. Okay, so what is this request for proposal? This request for proposal is a document that contains the necessary information or the objective of the client, what they really need from the penetration tester or the security auditing team or the security auditing organization. Okay, so they will be having a proper request for a proposal that needs to be sent from the penetration testers team. If you guys are the penetration tester, that my organization needs a proper auditing, proper penetration testing on my website, I would be releasing a document that I will be requesting for proposal from you guys, that what you guys can do for me. Okay, that is what request for proposal. And I think I would be skipping this full screen mode because like I would be showing you several documents. So it is too odd for me to open the documents and full screen again. So I need to scroll back lots of slides. Okay, I hope you don't mind for the with this off screen. Okay, request for proposal. So it's a project announcement post that every organization who's in need for a penetration testing, for the contractors, for the auditing teams, okay, to complete the projects in a proper manner. Okay, so they would be releasing this particular document for the contractors, for the teams to bid against this penetration testing. Okay, yeah, if you are a government organization, if any government organization is looking for penetration testing, definitely they have a portal and they would be releasing lots of proposal. Okay, but if again the case with your friend won't be doing this. That in that part you would be skipping this particular document. There won't be any request for proposal. If you have a known person, there won't be any request for proposal. Okay, but the remaining things that we need to follow. Let's see what all the things that we have. So the request for proposal has the project details, goals, the organization sponsoring it, outlines the bidding process, the contract terms that it contains, that what we're going to do. Okay, that what they are expecting from us. That is what a request for proposal is. Okay, so it is a small request for proposal from my country. Okay, I've modified this as well. Few. Okay, so we have they have this particular request for proposal. Okay, by Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Okay, and eligibility proposal, technical, financial proposal, all this information that we need to consider, like what they are really expecting. Scope of work, deliverables. So they have a scope with a URL and what it contains really and what it is running, PHP version, code igniter version, HTML version. So what language the website is running. Okay, what they need to do, what are the standards that you're going to use. Okay, everything you have in that proposal, what they're really expecting you to, black box testing, entire information system. Okay, each and everything, vulnerability assessment, penetration testing should cover in the website properly, completely. Okay, so bidder will be expected to perform a reassessment after the remediation phase. What is that? See, this 11th point is a very, very important point. Why? Usually people do penetration testing on a network, on a web application or something, and they will give you recommendation, or they give the client the recommendations or solutions. Mostly penetration testers don't give solutions, they give recommendations and the workarounds, what you can do, mitigation steps they can give. They won't be giving solutions. Okay, so why? Like we will discuss about the solution part when the class proceeds, when the session proceeds. Okay, then what they're really expecting us to do in here in this 11th point is, once we are done with the penetration testing, we'll give the remediations, they'll carry out the patching process. Okay, they'll carry out the patching process to make sure that the vulnerabilities are completely patched. Okay, so
Good evening,
good evening,
sir.
Mr. Good evening. May I know who's this? Sorry to interrupt. Okay, I think no issues. Okay, so once the patching is done, we have to do reassess the website for the same vulnerabilities. Do we have any kind of vulnerabilities still available, still vulnerable, anything? So we would be doing that. So these kind of information you'll be getting in the request for proposal, what they are really expecting. Audit environment, responsibilities of selected information auditor. Okay, so web security audit, re-audit. Okay, notify the auditor when there is any change in the auditing plan. If you want to do something different, apart from your methodology, apart from the WASP, they've mentioned the WASP method, right? So if you're going to change in it, so if there is any high risk attacks, okay, anything, you have to notify them, each and everything. Audit reports, responsibility of auditee, okay, and confidentiality, and the technical details of the application. So if they have a server, they may have an IP address, what that server is all about, how many workload is there available in that particular server, because that is very mandatory. If I don't know that what I'm going to do, I will just simply DOS attack on a server because it is in my methodology. You have a methodology that is having a DOS attack in it. Okay, but I don't know what that server really holds. Okay, if it is a productivity server and I'm doing the penetration testing or I'm doing the DOS attack on it, so definitely it's going to take down the server for at least for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, until I got my results. Okay, so DOS attacks is not like that. Like, yeah, we'll discuss about that. It's a technical one. We are changing the track now. So if it happens really, the penetration testing without having a proper request for proposal or what you're going to do, no, and it's going to be a massacre. So don't do that as well. Okay, so these things, technical information is very, very mandatory. Okay, and how we're going to prepare for it, and financial proposal, and how your pricing should be, and your pricing should be based on your scope of work, deliverables that you're going to give. Okay, what is the scope that they are giving you, and how much manpower you're going to give? Based on that, you would be giving the pricing. Okay, I'll let you know how we will do the pricing. We have all the details in the upcoming slides. Okay, so criteria for because few organizations have this criteria for the proposal to accept the proposal from the clients. Okay, so they are certified by some organizations. For example, if I want to take audit from someone, I would be requesting the clients or the or the auditors to be certified by ISO. Okay, and I would be I need the personals to be OCP or LPT certified. I don't want anyone to have only CEH. I don't want anyone to go with that. Okay, so that's why, like, I will be having different criteria for carrying out the penetration testing. Security products, how we're going to do. You won't be using any kind of cracked ones or anything. Each and every details I would be having here. And look at this field, weightage. Okay, so for each section, we have a weightage as well, because based on that, we'll be analyzing who have the proper proposal at last. Okay, when you're adding up all the necessary documents, what kind of necessary documents you would be needing? CA certificate, and you will be undertaking all the blacklisting that you are not blacklisted. Sorry, you're not being blacklisted. Okay, and a letter of, you have to declare that what you're going to do. So every information once you've added, okay, so then you can submit the request. Then you'll go for the submission. Still, we are not in the submission of proposal stage. Before we submit the proposal, we would be needing lots of information. Okay, what is that? Okay, before we go for proposal submission, you have to know how a proposal should be written. Detailed proposal. I've just added a small proposal. You cannot say it's not even a detailed proposal. A small, it just contains the deliverables and the pricing. Okay, let me show you in clear. Okay, so terms and conditions and a small pricing amount, and what are you going to do? Deliverables. A proposal can be like this as well. Okay, if you are sure what you're going to do, or you have to write it in detail as well. Okay, how you should know the needs and requirements and the mode of penetration testing, resources that you're going to spend, pricing, the mode of payment. All these information should be in there in a proper proposal submission. But how you would get to know? This request for proposal is full of theory, and they just mention what they are expecting from us, but no one mentioned that what we need from them, right? So that is what the next step is. We would be requiring few things, right? Requirement for proposal submission. Got it? So this is kind of form how it look like: contact information, scope of the penetration testing, and a list that what needs to be tested. List what needs to be tested: servers, workstations, routers, firewall, everything will be there. Okay, so for everything we should know that what they really have, and we can prepare ourselves that what I have, that I can give it, I can deliver it to them or not. Okay, identifying the scope, determining the project deliverables, project scheduling, staff requirements, okay, and itemized pricing, then I can go for the proposal submission. Okay, then once you plan for this particular requirements for proposal submission, you will be mailing them that I need this information, so I can give you exact scope or pricing or scheduling. Everything can be done clearly, and they will reply you. Then you would have a scope of meeting. Okay, so the scope of meeting with whom? With your internal team, first of all. Okay, why? The purpose of this scope meeting is to understand, based on the scope they have given you in the request for proposal that we have seen now. For the example, right, they have mentioned a website. So what is our scope is, there is a website, behind there is a web server, and there is a chance that it may have a firewall. Got it? Web application firewall in between. So these three things are a major scope. After deciding your scope, what type of penetration testing that I'm going to carry out? Is it black box, or is it white box, or is it gray box? Okay, and the areas to be tested. What is it? Areas to be tested, right? This areas to be tested is very clear in our case because they've mentioned simply a website. But few organizations request for proposal, they would mention like this, like our organization needs a complete auditing, complete penetration testing. So that's the time that you are not aware, or that you don't have idea about the areas to be tested. So you would be asking all this information, that the areas to be tested in here. Can you see this window that you would be having all this information? Means if they've mentioned servers, workstation, routers, firewalls, right? So you have an idea that you are dealing with networks as well, not only website. If they've checked these boxes, isn't it? So the areas to be tested needs to be very clear. Is it going to be a network or application or social engineering, wireless, mobile, cloud, VPN? What is it? Okay, and the targets to be tested. Okay, so in each, the targets, if you talk about workstations or servers, okay, or network devices. In servers, we have IIS servers, Linux servers, Unix servers, Windows servers, web application servers, client application servers, right? DNS servers. So we have different servers, right? So what targets are they going to test? Then you have workstations, each and every computers, laptops, okay, endpoints. You can simply say endpoints. Then you have network devices, routers, hubs, switches, firewalls, IPS, IDS, web application firewalls, right? So load balancers, gateways. Give me a second. Really sorry for the interruption. Okay, so all these targets that you need to decide what they have given you and what you're going to test. And third parties, do they deal with any third parties? Means internet service providers, cloud service providers, okay, any outsourcing vendors. So all these third parties may raise any kind of legal issues, because there is very slight line in the penetration testing. If you are not sure that what you're dealing with, you may or you might have touched, or you may touch any third party resources. If you've done it, it's going to create lots of legal issues. A simple example is shared servers. Okay, I'm having a shared server which is somewhere in the European countries. Okay, and I have full rights to do penetration testing on my server. But at any case, if I just triggered any other's server, so it's going to create lots of issues. So to avoid these legal issues, you should have an idea about third parties as well. Got it? Next, depth for penetration testing. Yes, this depth for penetration testing is nothing but that your mode of penetration testing. You're going to do a black box, white box, or gray box. Okay, and up to what stage that they can do penetration testing. Means few organizations ask for only vulnerability analysis, not for penetration testing. Yes, there are some situation that they may ask you only for vulnerability analysis. Okay, so you have to stop there, the depth. And few organizations will ask you to prove that you can do penetrate completely, means you can hack them, means you can completely get into their machines. Okay, so you would be knowing that from their side. Got it? And there are some situations that if you know that it can be exploited, you can just give a reference that it can be exploited. I have this reference from somewhere, but you're not allowed to penetrate it. That you are not allowed to hack it. If you are sure that it can be exploited, you stop there itself. You won't be showing that it can be done. Okay, so depth for penetration testing is also important. The deliverables, what you're going to give them, reports, vulnerability assessment reports, penetration testing reports, how you're going to give them, on what stages, how many stages that you're going to give them. Okay, always penetration testing will happen like, various stages. You won't be giving any like single one report to the client. You need at least three reports. I think I have some conversation here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you need at least three reports, two rough reports, one final reports at least, to make sure the penetration testing has been done properly. Okay, and scheduling. Then you go for scheduling. How are you going to start your penetration testing? Simply timing and the date, and you can day you can say, or the week or weekends. How I'm going to start my penetration testing, because few organizations have heavy workload in the productivity hours, that is Monday to Friday, and they would be requesting you to carry out the penetration testing in weekends. Okay, or in the night duties, night shifts. Okay, so the scheduling you have to clear, and staffing, how many people that you're going to employ, are you going to put into the particular action. Okay, then you decide the pricing. Okay, then you go for proposal drafting. So this is the moment that you start drafting your proposal. Once you're cleared with all these points, then you will start making your proposal according to the request that what they have made. Yes, I can do this, we can do this. So I would be very clear what I'm going to do. Okay, and what is this pricing is really like, the pricing still, like how people are stating this particular pricing. Yes, $3,000, $4,000, $20,000. Heard about it, right? So how, on what basis they are really giving this pricing? Very simple. Pricing will be done based on the work hours and the employees that you're going to employ. Okay, and organizations have this particular pricing based on their like on their own business terms. Okay, for example, if I have $80 minimum wage, okay, very minimum wage, I'm just assuming it. If I have $80 per hour for a guy for a network penetration testing, okay, and number of hours that I will be requiring for the project to get completed. Okay, so based on the scope, in case I have two firewalls, two web servers, okay, and one workstation. Okay, so 5 devices, I would be needing at least 25 days to complete it, complete penetration testing. Okay, and I would work 7 hours per day. Okay, then 25 into 7 into $70 or $80. That's how I calculate my pricing. Okay, and one more thing, this particular pricing differs according to the type of penetration testing that you're going to carry out. Means white box, gray box, black box. Black box penetration testing is a time consuming one and it's an expensive one. Okay, so this particular wage that you're fixing for your employee, that $80, right? So let's consider that this is for white box penetration testing. Means if you are fixing that, if your client asks you to do carry out white box penetration testing, so you can give this particular pricing. Or if he is asking for black box, so definitely for a complex network, for a complex target, 1 month is completely not enough for a black box penetration testing. If someone asks you to do audit a particular website or a particular server or a particular network with black box penetration testing in 1 month, just clearly you have to reply them that it is not possible. Yes, I can do it for you, but it is not going to be an effective penetration testing, because penetration testing is not a quick job that you can do it just like in matter of seconds or days. It is not going to happen, because black box penetration testing, at least you need 3 months to complete a proper network, a complex network. Okay, information gathering phase takes 1 week, 2 weeks based on the network. So based on the type of penetration testing, pricing differs. Okay, how if I'm carrying white box penetration testing, I would be getting lots of all kind of information, isn't it? You know, white box, gray box, and black box. In white box, I'll be getting all the information from the client. So the information gathering phase or the exploitation phase or whatever it is reduced very much. I don't have to spend much time on it. So it is a very quicker job or quicker project. So my wage is this only. My pricing is this only for white box. So pricing would be less. If you carry a black, expensive. Yes. And of course, you know the answer for gray box, moderate. Okay, so based on this, then you go for proposal drafting. You will add each and every information with the details or data they ask you to submit. For example, any accreditation, okay, certifications, okay, and employee details, who's going to engage, all this information you will add it up with their proposal and then you will submit. Yes, request for proposal, there is no proper standard to create that. It depends on the client, how they want, what they want. I can make a request for proposal in just in one page, that I'm looking for a penetration testing and this is my target and you guys can apply through this portal. So I can make request for proposal like that as well. Okay, that doesn't matter. And we have rules of engagement. Okay, you have submitted your proposal and successfully, and congratulations, your proposal got approved. And what's the next step? Next step is rules of engagement. What is this rules of engagement? This is your formal permission that you get from the client. Okay, and it gives you the top level guidance for your penetration testing. How are you going to do, what you're going to do, what are all the do's and don'ts that you have. Okay, it comes with the engagement letter. It is having the do's, don'ts and everything in detail. So you will get the top level guidance, a kind of agreement that you have with the client organization. And the boundary of limitations that you have over the penetration testing and the manner that you are going to maintain for the penetration testing. Got it? So let's see how the document looks like. Okay, so this is what rules of engagement is. Test objective, scope, general approach, okay, timetable, how we're going to do, when it's going to commence, when it is going to end, okay, testing location, because if I have too many branches, okay, in a same city, so where I'm going to really carry out my penetration testing, okay, and tools and methods, got it, and items to be tested logically, physically, okay, corporate headquarters, east side branch, west side branch, personnel, members of help desk department, members of IT staff, everything I will be having in here. Item not to be tested, what I'm not allowed to do. Okay, you are not allowed to do any kind of information which is mentioned in this particular document. Authorization to perform internet information security assurance externally. Okay, a small information for you that penetration testing should be done in two ways. One is internal penetration testing, external penetration testing. Means you can do penetration testing how an attacker will think about it outside the network. Okay, for example, you have your home, you have your router, and everyone is using the network, right? You are on the network. So if you do think how you will be hacking the others who's all connected to your network, that is internal penetration testing. If I think about it, how I'm going to hack you, that is external. And a hacker outside the network, external penetration testing and internal penetration testing. Got it? So these two documents will help you understand what are all the things not to be tested. These two documents will be having what to be tested. So with that, you will be having an idea what not to. Okay, so data center, north branch, south branch, personnel, okay, and design points of contact. What is this? What is this points of contact and why we have this information? The reason is you will deal with lots of technical nodes. Okay, you don't have idea. Okay, it's if you are a black hat hacker, that you don't need anything, like whatever, who cares? I will just crash the system. I will break the network. I will crash everything. I'll just get away or I will run away. I can do this, right? Because you don't care about it because it's not yours. But when you take job as a white hat hacker, it is your responsibility to take care of the network. Very you have to handle it with care. It's fragile. Network is very fragile. Reason is if you carry out with very high throttle tools, it may take down the server, it may take down the network. So you should have contact persons in each and every departments, network administrators, system administrators, okay, server maintenance people, everyone you should have contact with them. If I deal with web application, I should have contact with web developers. By mistake, if I crashed any single code, the site will not run. Okay, imagine if I'm doing penetration testing on Google and accidentally I just crashed down the Google page. Okay, how many searches are happening in Google? And I cannot take the responsibility, to be frank, if I've done that, but we have to take the responsibility. Means you have to help people to take it back to the original place, because you only know what you have done. So a 10 minute of crashing a particular website on high demand, it's going to be a huge business loss for them. Okay, so these kind of activity, to avoid these kind of activities, you need help from the internal team, right? So that is why you need the point of contact, target point of contact, you can say. Okay, suspension of testing, when you can leave, vulnerability notification, how you going to report if you find any kind of vulnerability. Okay, will be verified either by the additional vulnerability testing or through the penetration testing. So how? This is the point that I've mentioned. Few organizations will ask you for only vulnerability analysis, right? So this point clears that point, that what they really need. If you find a vulnerability, and do you have to penetrate it, or you just simply report the vulnerability, or you just have to prove that it can be done, but you haven't done it. Okay, so this point clears that very clearly, that what you're going to do. Okay, vulnerability notice in case if you have found any vulnerability. Suspension of testing. Unexpected occurrences are encountered that prohibit further testing. Okay, so if you have done something wrong, that's where you stop. Means the penetration testing agreement is there, but you have to stop there itself until it is resolved. It depends on the client really. They ask you to stop the whole agreement or penetration testing activity. Depends on the impact, or it depends on the mistake that you have done. And mostly we have some legal documents, NDA and all, right? So definitely it will help you, that it won't affect your organization, that they won't sue you for the mistakes. No one will be making that kind of mistakes. That is a point to remember, because always skilled professionals are in demand. Okay, if I hire anyone that who's coming, who's getting just $5, $10 per hour, like that, if I'm hiring anyone like that, okay, who's not that much skillful, so it is the problem there, because he may affect the network. That is going to affect your whole organization reputation and your penetration testing activity. So that's why skilled penetration testing is very skillful penetration testing is very mandatory. Got it? Then we have testing status updates, approval. Okay, so from where you got the approval, like tested organization and the testing organization. Okay, so you both organizations should get it signed. So you will have all this information in your rules of engagement. So attack methodology, external logic attacks, remotely redirected traffic, remotely deny the service, each and everything. Okay, yeah, another question that you may have now, that how a non-security organization should know about all this, right? If someone is into bank sector, or if someone is into oil and gas, right? Or if someone is into other departments or different domains, they also need security, but they don't have idea really. If you talk like you have to redirect the traffic, or you have to scan my network, or if you want to exploit my network, it is a hard time for them in understanding your terminologies really. So how they're going to design these rules of engagement? So that comes into your responsibility, means the auditing responsibility to get it signed. Okay, to avoid the legal issues again. So you cannot escape from there, like they didn't ask me, so I won't be signing them. No, it is for your sake, it is for your goodness, and it is for their goodness as well. You should get it signed clearly. If the project is, if you want the project to be done in a very clear manner. Got it? So have that in mind. And if they don't have idea, so you cannot skip that. So make sure at least have a very limited small size of rules of engagement, and explain them what is the necessity of rules of engagement. And if someone is urging you to do penetration testing, just start tomorrow and finish it by this end of the week. No, you can say for namesake, for money and for their satisfaction, you can do it, but I can assure you it is not going to be an effective penetration testing again. Got it? And you will be having an engagement letter. So what is this engagement letter is? So the rules of engagement, you guys have signed it. Then the penetration testing engagement letter, a legal document. Okay, so that they agree that you are going to attack on their network, on their resources. So study it properly, get it vetted by your lawyer, because it helps you both the parties in legal aspects and scope. Okay, so have it vetted by your lawyer. Yes, every penetration testing organization should have a proper lawyer. Okay, so this particular document will be like it is written in that way between the two organization, what you're going to do, organization of this agreement. Okay, scope of the penetration testing, Okay, information system, data center site, IP ranges, host, software versions. Okay, and IP address function, database name, role name. Okay, role name means your employees. Test user ID, associated function. Okay, everything you will be having in here in this document. Acceptance of proposed services, that what you're going to do, they should accept it. The rules of engagement, if you have any corrections in your rules of engagement, right, you can mention them, that you can ask them to rewrite it, that we won't be performing this, we will perform this. Or if they have any correction, they would be asking you that you cannot perform this, please go with this. Okay, and if you're doing SQL injection, you're doing spoofing or deceiving, okay, and adding any user accounts, new accounts, deleting accounts. Yes, right. Because if I'm a hacker, if I'm dealing with a website like Amazon, definitely I would be creating thousands of same kind of account, same email ID. I will try using it. This is a simple example for you, that if you are have you ever tried like how to create multiple accounts with the same mail ID? It is not possible, because Amazon is having a checkpoint that it will definitely show you that the email address has been already used. But there are sites that it still accepts same mail IDs with different usernames, because they are validating usernames while storing in the backend. They forget to check both the parameters, that is both the points, email and the usernames. Okay, so like that, you will have different points, accepted services, acceptance of the proposed services. What you want to do, they should accept it. So for all these things, dealings, so you will have this engagement letter, proper agreement that comes from your client, that they accept that you're going to do penetration testing and you're going to carry out these different techniques or the deliverables that you're going to perform on their resources, networks, web application, whatever. Understood what you're going to do? Then both organization get it signed, auditee and the auditing team. Got it? And have it vetted by the lawyer as well. Very, very important, because you can avoid legal aspects. Okay, so what is the legal aspects? Again, take the example that we were talking about. Your friend asked you to do it, right? If you have the proper engagement letter and everything, you can clearly mention that my end report is having this, my engagement letter is this, I followed the same step, you accepted and you signed it, and you don't have any rights to sue me or file a complaint against me, or you don't have any questions to ask against me, because a lawyer vetted it. I've read it, and you have full rights to do stand with you, the lawyer. Okay, so you're safe for that. Understood? Then the target point of contact. Yes, from the engagement letter and the rules of engagement, we have the target point of contact, right? So we will call them, because few information is not still fully covered, because okay, remember you have your workstation, you have 100 computers connected. Okay, have you thought like how a hacker will hack my computer? How a hacker who's sitting in somewhere in Russia or China or somewhere, how is going to get into my computer that is having a private IP? It is very easy for anyone to connect with the public IP, but my workstation, my laptop, my computer is having a private IP, or how is going to get connected? So when you do penetration testing, you might have get blank fully. Your mind will not say like, what is the next step? How I'm going to proceed it, right? To in your real-time penetration testing, right? You need these kind of these people's help, target point of contact help to clear few things. They will give you that starting point, the kick start. Okay, so that's why you will be dealing with lots of documents. We have lots of documents yet to cover. Okay, so target point of contact information, you can get it from an engagement letter or the rules of engagement, and assign a teleconference, have a teleconference with the target point of contact, and decide about NDA and DUA, non-disclosure agreement and data usage agreement. Okay, what is this? Non-disclosure agreement, of course, you must be aware of non-disclosure agreement, data usage agreement. So how are we going to deal with the data and the sensitive information? What are all the things that we need to follow and how you can proceed? That's what the use of, that's what we will be talking with the target point of contact. Okay, if they are a non-security organization, if they don't have idea about the security, so you are the one who's going to design it again. Okay, NDA, this is what a legal agreement between the tester and the testee. Okay, because information that could damage one or both parties if improperly disclosed. That is the main reason that why we have an NDA here. Understood? Why we have an NDA? Because we don't have idea really like what we're dealing with. So at any chance, if I just leaked out any information, because we humans are the weakest link in the organization, there are huge chances that we leak out the information without having an idea. Okay, how? After a hectic day of penetration testing on the client's work site, you go back to your home. Okay, your partner will ask you, how was the day? Okay, and there was a small, sarcastic incident that happened during your penetration testing. That guy kept a very awkward or a different, totally different password. People must have tried this, right? The guy was having totally a different kind of awkward, strange password, and that hits into your mind, and you started laughing, and you're sharing this to your wife. Okay, so this is how you share your details. Okay, without having idea, you are leaking your information. So that's why we have this NDA and have it in a proper manner, purpose, affiliation, okay, agreement, any laws or theft, okay, everything will be there. Okay, and this really helps the auditing team also to save it from any future frauds or any future false accusations. Okay, so to avoid that, we have this copying and returning of furnished instruments, non-disclosure negotiations. So based on the scope, based on the resources allotted to you, based on the resources that you're spending on the project, and based on all these, NDA will be designed. Okay, and in the informations, details, datas, and the resources, computers, and the node points that you're dealing, everything you will have in the NDA. Okay, so get this signed, and we have the data usage agreement. What is this data usage agreement? It is also a legal agreement between the tester and testee, but this is for especially for the data, not for the resources, everything. Okay, give me a second, sorry. Really sorry. Okay, so it is specifically for the data. Okay, not for the resources or anything else. So it's specifically for the data, that how we're going to handle it for both the parties. So it mostly comes into play when the client comply with the HIPAA. Based on HIPAA, when you do penetration testing, okay, Health Insurance Portability Act. Okay, so when you deal with HIPAA, then you have to use this data usage agreement. Okay, so this is how your data usage agreement will look like. Don't worry, I'll be sharing each and every documents to you. Okay, you can read it out. Okay, material breach information termination. Okay, knowledge of non-compliances, disposition of records, injunctions, indemnification. Okay, miscellaneous terms, everything you have in this, and the signature, assurance of compliance with data usage. Okay, how are you going to use this data? When you do comply with HIPAA, you will be maintaining this. Okay, you'll be using that at that particular time. Okay, what is next? SEQ, initial client worksheet. Yes, you need this because this is your first information sheet. Okay, where you have the initial information about the client, kind of checklist that you need, that what you're going to do, what you're going to approach, not going to do actually, what you're going to approach. And components type: internal penetration testing, external penetration testing, footprinting, each and everything you will get to know about your client. So during your penetration testing conference with your target point of contact, right? That is the time you will be getting all this information. Initial client worksheet. So let's see. I think we got that. I think already client info. Yes. That's strange. For some reason, it's not working. Yes. Initial client worksheet. So client on-site address, primary contact, alternate contact, teleconference information, that who you are having conversation with whom. Okay, client requirement. Okay, risk analysis process, information security assessment, network topology. Do they have really network topology, patch management process, physical security, what they have, what they don't have. Get to know about that first. Do they have antivirus administration configuration, disaster recovery, core application system? Okay, what core systems in use? Okay, these information that you would be using. Data backup and recovery, firewall administration, follow-up status, insurance coverage, policy and procedures. Do they have anything? Router administration, server administration, switch administration configuration, workstation administration. Why really? What are we going to really do with the switch administration, server administration, router administration? Because when you do audit router security, okay, you need the access control list. Means what are all the things that are allowed? What are the things that the specifically router is configured for? Okay, in your home, you won't be having any configuration. Yeah, in home also you have a very simple configuration of passwords, any block devices, or if you're using your computer, do you have parental controls, right? You have all this, right? So that is why you need to know about the administration and configuration details. Okay, and are you going to do footprinting? Okay, so you have to check that. And any external vulnerability assessment. Are you going to do one internal vulnerability assessment once? Yes. Number of external IP that you're going to test. Okay, for example, I have 10 and the number of external IPs in the organization, sorry, total number of IP organization in the organization 15. So number of IP I have to be tested only 10. Okay, and in internal. Okay, actually, internet vulnerability. Okay, I've read it wrong. Sorry, it is internet, not internal. Okay, and network vulnerability assessment. You're going to do internally or not. Means for a better penetration testing, it has to be done twice. Means internally or externally, because that's how you can be assured that it is fully secure. If you're doing only external, yeah, it secures your organization, but you don't have idea about the malicious insiders, right? Who's sitting with you? Because hackers purposely doing that. No hacker will do hack just in 1 month or something. They do proper planning for 1 year, 6 months, and they do take proper actions. Okay, and maybe you have a colleague who's working as a gray hat or who's working as a like as a black hat hacker, and he just came into organization for doing work and to pretend like one, the real one, right? So these things can happen. And testing type, what I'm going to do, gray box, white box, black box, which one I'm going to do. So I can mention that. And do they have firewalls? Do they have passwords, web servers, web application? Do they have anything extra? Yes. IDS, SQL injections are available, allowed. Routers, email servers. If you have anything, just add that as well and hit the button. Okay. And for internal penetration testing, what you're gonna do? See, you have to be very sure, like what you can do get from external. In external penetration testing, you have access with the publicly available devices. Okay, switch, you cannot have a direct connection with a switch. Okay, if it is not available with the public IP, right? So that's why. And human based social engineering, am I going to do human based? Yes. If you do human based, you have to do perform dumpster diving, shoulder surfing, right? Tailgating, all these. Even you have to use RFIDs or cloning the cards, ID cards, access cards, right? You have to do that as well. And if you have computer based, yes, you would be doing phishing and various attacks. So what you're going to do? So filling up of all this information, you need you have to go through the rules of engagement, okay, and the scope. And if you still want some information, that's where you go for the target point of contact. Maybe you can do fill this all points during your teleconference also as well. It depends on you and the target point of contact. Got it? And teleconference notes. Do you want to do note anything with the during the teleconference? You can use that page. Okay, and a small informations, internal penetration testing, external network, every detail, each and everything. What are you going to do? Okay, so this is your initial client worksheet. Got it? Then you have internal testing authorization, external testing authorization. Remember, we have seen this internal testing authorization in our rules of engagement. What are all the things that you're not allowed to do, or what are the resources that you're not allowed to penetrate, right? So this is a proper authorization to perform the internal penetration testing. Means when you are in the inside the network, what permission you have, what authorization you have, device on device data, on installed operating systems, on the network servers and the workstations, each and everything. Okay, so these are all your internal testing authorization procedures that we are going to follow. Should we go with it? And yes, network devices, authorization to perform on target, blackout periods, permitted test window. What is that blackout periods and permitted test window? We'll discuss about it. Test origin, where you're going to perform test street address, building, floor, room, number of origin IP address to be used, 20 IP address range. Okay, I'll just have like this. I can have the range, test device data, Ethernet MAC address, Ethernet IP address, okay, host name, okay, IP testing range. If you have excluded anything, means the range cannot be like this, right? So maybe like it is 1 to 15 and 17 to 20. They you 21, or you can say like this. So means they've missed one IP, 16. So you missed one IP, and what is the reason for that? It is that it has been missed, and is it testable or not? If no one is using that IP, that's okay, but it is in use and they're not allowing you to test it because it is testable, and you have to write on the reason why they are not allowing you to test that. Is it into productivity, or is it into personal use, or is it into the upper management, only for the directors, only for the MD? It is the reason where, you know, of course, right? So everything, what you're going to test, workstation IP address, range. Now you have idea, right, that how you're going to do penetration testing, because you might have some who will give me the IP, that how I'm going to do penetration testing, right? Because if you do penetration testing on a website, it will redirect you to a common public IP of a shared server. Okay, that how I'm going to do penetration testing then? So if they have an internal IP address, internal penetration testing, so you need this. If no one can do penetration testing from outside, on an internally available services. Okay, I cannot do penetration testing on your home network, on your laptop from here. I can hack you, or I cannot do penetration testing. There is a small difference. Hacking can be done in a very different various ways, but penetration testing can be done in a proper way. So I cannot do that when you are when you in your internal network while I'm sitting externally. Got it? And permitted test window, blackout window. Yes, like I said previously earlier that you will be having the highly productive network, right? So they won't allow you to carry out the penetration testing during the weekdays. That is on peak hours from 10 to 7 in the evening. So you have to do penetration testing on night shifts. So times which testing is prohibited. Okay, dates on which testing is prohibited. These date, we are not allowed to do penetration testing, and the times which testing is prohibited. Everything daily. If it is daily, so you don't have to fill this daily from 4 to 6 in the evening. I'm not allowed to do penetration testing. I can mention it here 4 to 6 p.m. or only 4 to 6. I'm allowed to do it on Thursday and Friday only. So I'll just mark the date accordingly, and I would be adding it in here. Okay, the time 4 to 6. Understand? Vulnerability scan window when you can do the date. Okay, target network POC information, name, date, time, phone, cell phone, email information. Do you have anything? Okay, point of contact means system administrator, network administrator, okay, server administrator, and database administrator. If I have one, so I will have all their cell phone, email, and every detail information. Because at any stage, if I faced an issue, I have to quickly call them, right? For that. And I have this document signed, okay, and have the detailed list of your IP address, right? Excluded IP address that you are not allowed to do it. Reason for exclusion, each and everything. No one will be having, I think, this much big server. Look at this. They have this 26 field with the various ranges. Yeah, there are chances because if you're dealing with the internet service providers or if you're dealing with the banking networks and all right, yeah, you have huge range of IP address. So it is possible. Okay. So target networks, everything you would be adding in here. Means you would be getting it from the target point of contact, internal testing authorization. Same, we have the external testing authorization as well. Okay, geographical data, test targets, internet accessible network devices. Got it? And that blackout period and the permissible window, everything is in here as well. Only difference is you would be getting that data that is relative to the internal penetration testing in the internal document and external penetration testing data is in the external document. Understood? Okay, and so next one we have in here, it is the external one is the same. Okay, publicly available network devices, publicly available web servers in the workstation, and internal control questionnaires. This is a huge information we're going to do. Like I won't be taking much time, like I'll just go through it quickly. We have still more than half an hour. Okay, and this session is going to be okay. One more thing, after this session, I would be needing your feedbacks. Like we're going to spend complete 4 hours test. This session is a small one, but maybe from the next class we'll be having a longer session. So you can tell me like, are we going to have a longer session or a shorter session would be good? I can see, I can feel that it won't be a like good one if we talk too much or if we spend more time. Yes, I can feel like I am sure that you're getting something important in here. Okay, that's why like I'm instead of showing PPTs, I would it would be good if I go with the documents. Okay, don't worry, like from next session, it's not going to be the documents also. We'll be fully dealing with the practicals. Okay, so we have the cover sheets and all these documents are mandatory. Okay. I'll leave this all the documents for you to verify or for you to read it on your own. I'll just show few documents. Outsourced vendor list. Okay. Questionnaire. Who completed the questionnaire? Contact number for follow-up questions and date it is completed. What's the vendor name? Service provided. Contract expiration time. Method of data transfer and holds the member data or not. Okay. Second. Sorry. Okay. So this outsourced vendor list you should maintain, or you would be getting all this information. Critical applications list. Yes. The critical applications list, you will be getting it from the system administrators. Okay. System administrators know about the critical applications that are running in your computers, because if I do vulnerability analysis with a high throttle tool, I don't have idea what are all the applications that are fragile. If I do vulnerability analysis on such applications on such network, it will crash down. And if it is a very critical application for a productivity or during the daytime, if it is being used, so it's going to be a big issue. So I want to have the application names already like pre-written before I go for penetration testing. Okay, version and patch level applied, who's the vendor, date implemented, host server name, operating system that is running in there. Okay, each and every information about the critical application. Got it? Next, we have the inventory list. Okay, so what are all the servers and mainframes they have, routers they have, make, firewall, make, model, OS, device location, device IP, everything in detail. Firewall, switch, router, modem. Okay, everything you will have. And you will have in detail in here that about the server, mainframe, firewall, switch, modem, and maintains the contract. Where is the device location? Is it in the first floor, second floor, like that? Okay, so in detail, you have to maintain the inventory list as well. Got it? Outsource vendor list, I think it is repeated. And you have antivirus list. Okay, and is there any particular antivirus rule that they've created? Antivirus software, is it updated? And what about this antivirus contract, purpose, scope? When was the last time that antivirus policy was reviewed and updated? Do you have anything, or you just follow the default policies that comes from the antivirus vendor itself? Because it is going to help you to craft your malwares during the penetration testing, because you will have an idea what kind of antivirus. If someone says that they are using AVG, I won't be like surprised, or Kaspersky, I won't be surprised like they are using tough one, because they are not that much fully secured system. If they are using Kaspersky or K7, or Kaspersky is okay, K7 or AVG or Avast is also good, but I stand with Norton and McAfee. If you're using one, that's good. Okay, so these different datas that you will be getting about the antivirus, software configuration and operation, everything. Got it? And we have this core application system security. Do they have anything developed, implemented, board approved, any information security details, reports, policies, physical access policies, change management policies, third party remote access control policy? Means you have a system that is getting controlled or governed by any third parties for outside the network, because there are chances the attacker can find a way through them. So get to know about them as well. Got it? Then we have firewall administration and configuration. Yes, information about the firewall and the access control list and the rules that are implemented in the firewall. Got it? Firewall, implementation of previous information security reviews. Okay, so what are this like actually? Have there been any information system reviews conducted by any union regulators or external auditors? Because we are not going to be the first one always, right? So if they have done it previously, and they have come to you for some reason, right? So what was the previous results? So get to know about that as well. Okay, because they might have mentioned this, that this system is fragile, or this system is not responding fine, or that this particular activity has been done in this proper way, or in this manner. So all very sensitive information you may get from the previous reports. Okay, get that as well. Insurance coverage, what kind of insurance they have, network monitoring and intrusion detection, means IDS, IPS, firewall, and do they have the incident response team? So everything you will have. Demilitarized zone. Okay, and how often the logs are reviewed? Daily once, weekly twice, monthly once. Okay, first of all, it is being viewed or not? Okay, logs captured or not? Are they just using it for namesake? Okay, so every information you will have. Network topology. Yes, few organizations don't have topology at all. They just connect the LAN cables to the internet and they use it. Okay, because it's not a complex network if they don't use topology, but it is very easy for the attackers to navigate from one computer to another computer, because all the computers are in the same topology and in the same network, and they don't have subnetting, so it's very easy for them to hack. That's why you should be aware of network topology before you go for penetration testing. And this topology details will help you much in during the penetration testing. Got it? Then we have patch management data, and we have physical security data. Okay, do they have the access cards, public areas, lock and key? Is it a access card, or is it a retinal scan, or is it a voice controlled? And what about the fire alarms, fire suspension, suppression, CCTVs? You may think like CCTV is okay, and fire alarms, fire suppression. Do we have to consider that? Yes, do we have to consider that as well. Sales, vault, mail handling, network equipment, data operation center, everything, facilities that you have physically, have it counted into your network. Look at this list. It's a very detailed list. Okay, so you may think like, yeah, you are saying this many things, how I'm going to remember all this, or how I'm going to cover this. See, I'm not preparing you for a penetration tester. To be frank, not preparing you for a penetration tester. I'm preparing you for a security analyst, or I'm preparing you to lead a team. Okay, how you can lead a team? Penetration testing cannot be done single-handedly. You need a team of 5 to 10 members to properly carry out penetration testing. A single document will take 2 hours, 3 hours, even the whole day also. So pre-engagement activity is a big thing. It cannot be done by single-handedly. You should have a team to carry out all this. Okay, and each and everything needs to be signed. And what about the server administration? Windows 2008, do they have Windows 2012? Do they have Windows, sorry, switch administration and configuration? Okay, they have all this information, everything. And internet banking, do they have anything in their network, or in their computers, or in their endpoint? Do they saved anything? And this Graham Leach Bailey Act, this is according to, you have different acts, right? Graham Leach, SOX, we have HIPAA, we have different acts that is apart from our workshop syllabus, and maybe we can consider this as well during the penetration testing based on the requirements. Okay, so if you have that one in your organization, so you would take that into account. Okay, so each and every documents should get properly entered. Means every information should be properly monitored, and you should get all the information from the target point of contact. And this provided by client. What is this? Is actually this will this documents request. It means you have got lots of documents from the client, right? I've shown you this many documents, right? So this particular sheet will help you that do you have all this? Means You have received all the documents or not, like a checklist. Okay, antivirus policies, okay, administrators, land data, backup programs. So everything, every list that you will just have to checklist like, yeah, I received everything, or I will be needing something, SNMP configuration files, VPN configuration files, and how you have received it. Do they provide it or not provide it? And media, DVD-ROM or USB or by mail or by floppy. I think no one is using floppy these days. But what mode that you have received the data. Understood? So if once everything is done, then you go for project planning. Okay, provide like everything provided by client, then you go for scoping, scheduling, then you will go for the project planning. Yeah, I know my scope. This is a very big stuff and I would be needing 6 months of time and I have 5-member team or 10 members team and I'm going to do it on only on weekdays, not on the weekends. It is clear now. So I'm going to plan it. Yes, we have a tool also here to plan our project. Okay, the tool name is Gantt project and it is open source, free. You can download it from internet. Okay, Gantt project. So this tool will help you to create your new task. For example, I know that I'm going to do pre-engagement activities first of all. It's done, right? Or you can add here as well. It depends on you. Maybe I can go for information gathering. Okay, so when it is going to start? So I'll just have a date in here. I'll just start maybe 22nd of November. Okay, duration, I'll just add 10 days or something like this. Okay. Okay, it goes up to 3rd, maybe more than that. Okay, based on you can skip the weekends, 27, 28. Okay, it gets skipped 4 or 5th, it gets skipped. Okay, so you can have it working on weekdays only, right? That's why. Next, I can add a new task again. Okay, this is for scanning. Okay, so I will start this from 22nd. You may think, why? Why again 22nd? And how, 22nd is not going to be the right one. Plan it. This is how it helps you to plan. 25th. Why? The reason is you need some information from information gathering team to start your scanning phase. If I start both at the same time, I cannot be a successful one. I won't be getting successful results. So have some time period. It depends on what you're going to do. This is where your skill speaks, means how you will do penetration test, sorry, information gathering, and how you will transfer the information to this team. Understood? And if once, see, I can do this grab like this, so I can mention that like, okay, after this information, I would be getting, I will proceed to the scanning stage. Understood? Then I have this resources chart. What is this? I can add the resources in here. Sam, phone, mail ID, days after he is going to take. Okay, and tester. Okay, manager, developer. Okay, document rest. We can change this as well. Okay, and resource payment rate. How I'm going to pay him? That we have talked about that, right? USD. Okay, so based on that, I can do have it. Once I've added my resources, means I can add few more people, 5 people I can add. Okay, 5, 10 depends on you. So I can assign the resources to him. Okay, why we have this application is because we cannot ask one by one daily that what you have done, what you have done, what you haven't done, what is your status, everything. Okay, so simply you will just have a meeting on a daily basis maybe, or on a weekly basis. At least have weekly basis meeting during the penetration testing between you and your team and you and the auditee, means the client. Okay, because that helps to avoid lots of issues later. Okay, and it's not only for the security auditing, it's for every business. If you have a project and you have a deadline or you have a team working under it, you have a meeting regularly, at least once in a day, or once in 2 days. That really helps. Okay, then we have this scanning phase. So I can assign them like who's the one that is going to do, or that is who's doing. Okay, so I can add the resources here as well. So, and who's going to coordinate everything. If he's the one who's coordinating the information gathering team, maybe I can give one more predecessor again like with him. So he is the one who's coordinating that guy. So I will be getting the results from him, so I can keep myself or keep my projects updated. Okay, then you will have everything here, and you'll have the task, new task you can create, resources you can alert, and you can save it. Okay, you can export it into XML, or you can export it into PDF, and you can open it in the browser quickly to analyze what's the status of the project. Okay, so that's the use of this Gantt project. That's how you do schedule, allot the resources, you plan your penetration testing. People use various you know various tools to do plan their penetration testing. It's not, I use this Gantt project, and if you find, and if you just search for Google similar project planning tools, you will have huge number of tools. You can use anything, depends on you. Okay, how we going to do. And this one is very, very important. Yes, we come to the end, like in here, scope creeping. Okay, what is the scope creeping? Very, very important. The thing is, you have the scope, you have the rules of engagement, NDA signed everything, and you are now ready for penetration testing. And suddenly your client is asking you to add few more IPs into your list. You have the list of 10 IPs to attack, right? And suddenly your client is asking, just add these 2 more IPs also and attack on it. Okay, you have to deny that kind of activity from a client. The reason is, that is what called as scope creeping is. He is filing your scope, and if you want to do that, get the rules of engagement or NDA resigned. Okay, get it resigned, get it vetted, revetted by the lawyer, because it creates lots of issues in the penetration testing, legal issues and customer dissatisfaction. So lots of things happens. That's what scope creeping is. And you, while doing that, tell him that you will be collecting extra money for that as well, because customers and the clients do this to avoid the money. They will be saying 10 IPs and they will give you 15 IP address. So at last time you will think like, okay, we'll do it. No, if you are also ready to do it, have a proper documentation, get it signed again, then do it. Okay, because 1 day, 2 day delay won't affect anything, won't affect much. Okay, but the legal issues will create a greater effect. Right. So that's why. So make sure you don't fall as a victim for scope creeping. And we have the weaponization. Yes. So I think that's the end of this particular session, technical talk. We will discuss about the weaponization means, how we're going to get ready for the next sessions, and the laptops configuration, that what you have. And if you are already into management, or if you're already into development, or if you are already into various cybersecurity profiles, and you may have this question that how are we going to use different operating system, and or a online lab platform, what we really need. So that's the point what we're going to discuss. Weaponization. The ideal configuration for a penetration testing, ideal, you can say at least minimum configuration. Okay, at least have a processor which is 2 GHz or more speed. Okay, and the cores are like very, very important. Make sure you have at least 4 cores, not less than that. Don't go for dual core processors. Okay, and 8 GB RAM, 500 GB of storage capacity. If it is SSD, more preferable, and one network interface card separately. Okay, means your Wi-Fi adapter extra. Got it? And a best one, I would advise you to go with 16 GB of RAM. If it is 32, most welcome. Okay, 16 GB of RAM recommended, 1 TB of hard disk or SSD if you have one, and one network interface card and processor. And if you think like 2 gigahertz, 4 gigahertz, still like we are not that tech savvy. Even you can ask me like, what is this 2 gigahertz block speed? information security people are not the developers or into developing team or into the architectures and all, right? So if someone is into that, like they don't have idea about this 2 gigahertz, I'll simply give you go for i5 8th generation if you are planning to buy a new one. For now, I think 8th generation is also old. Go for i5 10th generation or 11th generation, and never think about i3. And if you ask me to the comparison, go for Ryzen 5 series or 7 series. Recent days, Ryzen is having their upper hand, so it's good to go with Ryzen processors instead Intel. Okay, and not less than 5th generation. Ryzen 5, 4th generation, sorry, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, 4th generation, or 7th. Okay, so make sure you go with that processors. And if you have the graphic cards, GPU means, okay, if you have GPUs, well, good. For password cracking, you may need that. Okay, and for ideal software configuration, you may need the operating systems. Kali Linux, very mandatory. A Parrot security, if you have one. Okay, yeah, you can download it, Parrot security or Kali Linux, and a Windows operating system. Windows 7 is mandatory for practice. Windows 8 and a Windows Server 2012, 2008 or 2003. Okay, so where you can download this particular various softwares, ISO images and all, right? Finding Windows ISO images is very tough for you. I have the drive link for you. Okay, I'll be sharing that as well for you to download these different operating systems. Okay, I have two links. I have it ready. One is from our side and one is from the internet, and one is in the drive, so you can download it very quickly without having any question. And one is in the internet, and I'm not sure, like it's genuine one because people use it to trick people to download it. Okay, hackers do that. Okay, so that's what application servers, IIS servers, no need of these, all these, don't get confused. You need MS Office 2016 and you need means MS Office. I sometimes use 2007 as well. I'm comfortable with that. I used to do that. Okay, I used to work on that only. And you can go with Linux, at least one Linux operating system. And you may have question, can I install my Kali Linux in my host? If you are new, very much new, can I install Kali Linux in my host? I'd suggest no. If you're having 4 GB of RAM or 8 GB of RAM, installing Kali Linux in host is a good option because it consumes very low amount of RAM than the Windows operating system. And if you're having 16 GB of RAM or 32 GB of RAM, it is good to install Windows on the host machine, then using a hypervisor over it. Means a VMware or a virtual box or a Hyper-V. Okay, so this is what VMware is. We have this VMware in the drive link, so don't worry about it. And VMware is a paid application. You have to pay, I think, 17,000 or something in Indian bucks, 17,000 bucks. So you have to spend at least 200 or $250 for that. Okay, for if you want to buy VMware workstation. Okay, so it's very comfortable. I'm very comfortable with it, and you can download it from this site, VMware, and you would be needing VirtualBox as well. Okay, VirtualBox is open source, free. You can use it. Installation is very simple. Just click it, download it, double tap, click next. That's how you install both applications. Both applications are like that only. Okay. Okay, Workstation Pro for Windows, and for Linux, if you have Linux in the host machine, you can use this. If you have Windows in host machine, use it. Download it, and it will just a single click away. It's 600 MB, and a matter of seconds, it will get downloaded. Okay, and you have the VirtualBox. You can download this as well. Both are hypervisors, are the virtual machines. You can install multiple operating systems inside it, like I use. I have Linux in here. Okay, let me switch on my Linux, and I would be showing few tools for you to have it mandatory. Okay, and I'll give you all the tools for you through Drive and have it downloaded and copied and have it ready for the workshop. Get going. Okay, so because sometimes I quickly use one tool from my inventory list, and if you're practicing along with me during the workshop, so it's tough for you to cope up with me, right? So that's why we have 15 days of time for the next session, right? So you can prepare yourself very well. Okay, and yes, two major operating system we'll be needing for practice for now. Yes, I told you like it's a live penetration testing, and why what you're going to do with Windows? Yes, we need it because sometimes for kickstarting your or at least brushing up your older knowledge, older skills like previous skills, you need it for just practicing. Okay, Kali Linux and Windows, and preparing Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is a penetration testing distribution. Okay, what's the difference between Ubuntu and Kali Linux? Kali Linux is a penetration testing distribution. Ubuntu is not a penetration testing distribution. Mostly Ubuntu doesn't use or developers use Ubuntu. Server management people use Ubuntu. Red Hat, Linux, Ubuntu are all same. And if you want some commercial looking Linux distribution, you go for Linux Mint. Okay, all the Linux distributions are free, so you don't have to pay for it. So you can use such operating systems. If you want to use it very colorful or something, go for Linux Mint or Ubuntu sometimes. But Ubuntu and Linux Mint doesn't come with the necessary tools that you need to carry out penetration testing. Okay, that is why we go for penetration testing distributions such as Kali Linux or Parrot Security. Okay, I have these two operating systems already installed. Okay, if you install Kali Linux, right, the latest version of Kali Linux from the internet. So where you can download Kali Linux, get kali.org. Okay, so go for bare metal virtual machines. Which one you're going to use? See, if you're using it in the host, go for this. Understand? Bare metal method. If you're using it in the virtual machines, go for this. Okay, 64-bit or 32-bit architecture. I want to download it for VirtualBox or VMware. Download it. Okay, you can download it from here and you can install it very easily. Okay, just you can say that's it. It started downloading 2.6 GB and you can install it. Installing is very easy. Let me show you how to do it. And I think you must be aware of it. Click on next, choose your ISO, click on next, and the machine will be created, and open that machine and just click on power on the machine and it will automatically start install. Okay, and the regular installation process that you need to carry on. Okay, so that is how you do installation of VMware, Kali Linux, and all. Yes. Okay. Again, I was saying I'm using the latest version of Kali, and if you install your latest version of Kali, it won't look like this. It won't look like this completely. Your look will be different. Why? Why I'm getting like this? It is because of the repositories. Repositories is the necessary thing that you should know as a penetration tester. Why? Repositories use mirror links, servers links that you need for the penetration tools to get downloaded. You do this, right? People use this command apt get install, right? They use this, right? So what does this command particularly do? What is it doing? This particular tool, apt-get, okay, apt-get is a package manager we have in Kali Linux. If you go for Ubuntu, apt-get may not work. Sometimes yum will work. Sometimes different package managers are there. It depends on the operating system and the distributions. Okay, so this particular package managers download tools From where? When you do type apt install, apt get install, really, is it really having it in your Kali Linux or where it is down? It is downloading from the repositories you have. Okay, so where is this particular repositories are placed? It is the repositories are placed in here. Well, you have the sources list. I think they're having it in here. It's been a long time. I didn't update my repository list. I think it's an app package only. Let me try and try this. Yes. So this is the one. This is the file sources.list. So nano sources.list. If you open it, once you install Kali Linux, right? If you open it, you won't be having these two lines. This is the mirrors links from Berkeley. Okay, I'm using a different repository. That's why I have this. If you like this interface, this kind of colors from my computer, my Kali Linux, I will be giving this to you. You can just have this line added to your resources.list file. And what you have to do, you have to do this apt get update. Okay, so this will update your repository list and your operating system is getting ready to upgrade. If you have a full upgrade, the two tools in here and the tools that you have already, everything will get upgraded. When you have a major version upgrade in the Kali Linux, right? So that is where you have to do this apt get just distribution upgrade. Full distribution upgrade will happen. So when I do it, it will take longer time if I have a very longer update. Sorry, larger update. Okay, so you have to do this. Got it? And you have enumeration tools and everything. Now let me show you a few tools I have. Okay, what are the tools I have? What are the things that you need before we go for penetration testing? So I have lots of penetration testing tools. Okay, SMTP map, slow loris, checklist, rapid scan, proxy strike, Python scripts. Okay, for keyloggers. Okay, for reversals, for scanning, for SSH, for fuzzings. Okay, so lots of tools, Linux enumeration techniques. Okay, Sparta, SuperEnum, SNMP, SMTP, Infoga. This is for mail enumeration. Don't get excited, like we will be using lots of tools from here. Okay, so IKE, word lists. What are all the word lists that you will be using? You need this word list for penetration testing during the information gathering phase, during for password cracking, for Wi-Fi cracking. We need dictionary. Okay, email bombers, fragmentation, scam radar, DDoS attacks, black box penetration testing separately. I have few tools, important tools. Okay, so this is a single set of tools. I have pen test kit for each and every profile, for each and every service that you're going to deal with in real time. We have it. We will be using each and every tool during the penetration testing. Okay, for Oracle database, if you have one, Nessus, Metasploit, for Lifehost, all the bash scripts that you have. Okay, I've downloaded from GitHub. Okay, let me show you. And you need this cover TCP script, especially made script for especially for your firewall auditing, firewall security, security auditing. This is for SNMP protocol and some word lists. Okay, and a reversal template from the internet. Okay, and we have recon tools, we have Wi-Fi tools. Okay, so how we are really how we'll download tools actually. Let me show you real quick. if you can see, if you just Google it, what is the information gathering tools and all, they will give you lots of tools. So we have an utility called git clone in the Kali Linux. So any tools you can download it from GitHub. Lots of tools are available in GitHub for as open source. Okay, so you just need to click on this code, copy this git clone. Okay, and open your terminal and paste your URL and just hit enter. It will get downloaded. I don't want to download this in my apt directory. Let me copy this command and I'll just paste it to somewhere else. I have this tool already. And one more thing to remind you, the architecture, the file architecture that you have in your Kali Linux, your Ubuntu, or your Parrot changes a lot, because in Kali Linux you have root and inside that you have home and you have desktop and all. Okay, so if I just ls, you can see the user and you can go for SAM. Okay, and you again ls and you don't have anything. But if you're a root user, okay, I've just purposely created this one. Normally, if you install Kali Linux, and the recent Kali Linux, you will be having this user and all the files that you are downloading, right? It goes inside home. If you are creating a new user, previously Kali Linux were like this. You don't have to create a user mandatory when you are installing an operating system. That just a root user is enough. But you have now, it's mandatory that you cannot log in as root, that you can create a user and you can use that user as a root user. Okay, and that's how, like, if I'm a SAM, if I'm a root user, so I can go for this particular directory, and this is where my all like files will be located. But in my case, it is all located in root. Okay, so yes, that's a file architecture that you will be having in your Kali Linux or Ubuntu or Parrot, whatever you do. So let me just download it. CT. I'll just make a directory. Make directory for work and CT work. I'll just git clone it here so I can show you. It can be downloaded. Sorry, 2 times I've used git clone. Hit enter. Okay, it is downloaded. ls. Okay, cd red hat ls, and you can see this tool is made up of PHP, so you have to run it with PHP. Very simple. Few tools comes with installation procedures, few tools comes with just download and play. Okay, it is in here at the bottom, how you will be installing, how we'll be using everything in here. So that's how you do install Kali Linux. That's how you prepare your test bed or weaponize your Kali Linux for penetration testing. Okay, and you will have it, all the scripts, enumeration, exploits ready for the next session. We would be starting with information gathering or with a few network basics like we discussed about the flow. Okay, and I have all the resources available in this OneDrive. So the Windows operating system, Kali Linux, VMware, Windows 8.1. I will be giving all this ISO images to you guys, and I will add my tools also, my scripts also, my word lists also with this drive or maybe a Google Drive. Okay, I will give all the tools for you through email. Got it? So we are in the final stage. Yes, you guys have an assignment also to complete, because it would be good if you work on an assignment and you submit it, and we may work as a team towards a penetration testing. That's why. Okay, so what is this particular proposal or something that what I want you guys to do is listen carefully. So we have a proposal, means I'm the organization. I'm asking you to submit a proposal, and my company is Good Food. Okay, and I want you to submit the proposal before December 4th. The next session is December 5th, I think. Okay, before December 4th, I want you to submit your proposal. And if you have any queries, okay, what I really have in website. Okay, if I ask you a simple question, just drop your answers in the chat box. I'll check that really your answers are well or not. So I have a website. I just simply have, I'm telling you, I have a website. And what are the questions that it will arise in your mind regarding, like if you are a penetration tester? Just drop what are the information that you would be needing from my side as a question in the chat box. We'll read it and I'll check like really you guys have answered it well or not, or you guys have missed something or not. Okay, and date of posting response to queries. Okay, so if you have anything, okay, I think I need to change this date a bit. It's not 23, maybe 25, because I would be giving the reply, right, for the queries. Okay, then you can submit your proposal before or on December 4th. Okay, so read out the full request for proposal. It is copied from somewhere because I don't want to use some real request for proposal. So I'm using a dummy one. I've changed few things, and I hope like you won't be sharing any kind of sensitive information outside this workshop. That is the purpose. We request you to guys to share an NDA as well between the InfoSec 4TC and you guys. So you guys have the target, means the, you can say, work for this first session. We want you guys to sign an NDA, and your first assignment is to submit a proposal. Okay, and I would be sharing the tools, ISO images, scripts, and a Google form for you to fill up. Google form, please try to Google form on the NDA. Please try to fill it in the next 2 days. And the remaining things you can take your own time and submit your queries, and I will try to reply. We'll make it simple. The main purpose of this assignment is to make sure that you understand what is request for proposal is and what are the things that you should prepare before you go for penetration testing. Got it? Great. And that's what you're going to do for this session. And this is time for question and answers. And you can ask me anything. I'll be answering regarding the session and how it is going to be the workshop. Everything, each and everything we'll discuss now. If you have any questions, you can unmute your mic and you can ask me. Anyone?
Hi, Sam. Just had a quick question for you in regards to the presentation today. Someone asked earlier if we would have access to the recording, and you said we would discuss that later. Just wondered if you could clarify details on that.
Sure. Yeah, I think you'd be having a limited access for the recordings. I think the organizer would be having some answer for that. I think is not here with us. So I'd be definitely confirming that, because I don't want to give any fake commitments, right? So because the recordings is meant for the subscribers who have done already enrolled into the course. If you are one, then definitely you'd be getting it, I think. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi, it was great. Thanks a lot. What is the plan for 2 weeks? Do we have anything to share with us, and to have any, I don't know, maybe Google Drive or any space that we share with NDAs?
For the NDAs, like I've mentioned clearly that I would be sharing the NDA and the form and the tools through the Google Drive or the OneDrive. Okay, I'll share the link to each and every individual. Okay, and you guys can reply me back with the same email with the attachment. Okay, and maybe I can, yeah.
And the other documents that you share with us
Yes.
on presentation?
Everything. I'll share the PPT. Okay.
Nice. Thanks a lot.
I'll share the PPT. I'll share the standards. Okay, these standards are all everything for you. Okay, maybe I'll just check my personal drive as well. Like if I miss something else, okay, I'll add that also. Okay, and this request for proposal, I don't think so. Like, I can share only one request for proposal for you guys. The reason why I haven't shown you this thing because it's a real request for proposal. I'm not allowed to. I'm not supposed to show you that. That's the reason I didn't open few documents really. Okay, but the rest things I will be sharing. These are RSEV. These are all some email interpersonal. The personal when you do carry out the pre-engagement activities, right? For that reason. Means if I get any emails from the client, I would be storing all this information in here, the replies that I've sent, everything. So these two directories are an empty directory. Okay, just for our self purposes. Okay, but this one, this whole directory, you will be getting each and every document. Okay.
Sam, just to clarify, you'll be sending that information all to our email. It's not going to be uploaded in one central location. You're just going to be emailing it out to us, right?
The documents, no, I'm not going to email each and every document. I'm going to email you the link for the drive. Okay, I'll be uploading all the documents in a single place, central place, and I'll just share the link to you. You can download it.
Right. I'm sorry. I should have clarified that. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Welcome. Anything else? How was the class? Like I would like to hear from you. So if I have to make changes during the next session, are we making it like too fast? Am I going too faster, or you want me to slow down, or my way of teaching? Like if we take a break in the middle, or anything, any suggestions, you can give it to me in the chat box as well. You can mail me also. You guys have my mail, right? So you can do anything. Okay, do we have any chats? Okay, we don't have anything. So anything else, guys?
Hello, good evening.
Evening.
Okay, please, I sent you a private chat. I don't know if we can just have like 15 minutes after this lecture to discuss some things.
I didn't get anything. What's your
Oh,
name?
No, Chukodi, I sent you a private chat.
Maybe.
Can you see it now?
No, once again. No, I didn't get anything.
No, private chat, please.
I'm just checking the private chat only.
I sent you again now.
Yes, I got it now. Yes. Yeah, we can do have a small session, but you can drop a message that regarding what it would be good.
Okay, I'll do just that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sam, it's Amir. I've got a question for you.
Sure.
A lot of the information that I saw in the presentation, in the questionnaires and things like that, are around network or very network specific stuff. I guess I'm trying to figure out, for someone who's starting out in this, what the essential skills are, or the essential prerequisites
Your voice is breaking.
for someone to be successful in this. And I know we're talking about a multidisciplinary team where there's going to be a range of skills, and that you're targeting more security analysis rather than, I guess, deep hardcore hacking. But I'm just trying to work out, I'm looking at myself and thinking, what are the skills that I need and what I might be missing, and whether they're attainable or not.
Okay. Like I think I missed your chat. Your voice was breaking. You mentioned. Okay, let me clear that. Let me rephrase the question that you've asked for. Okay, you've mentioned that lots of documents prerequisites are mostly focused into network details. Okay, and we have multiple disciplinaries available, right? And how we're going to do it, and what you may miss if you have like if the course is like this, whatever the workshop structure is, what you're going to really miss your skills, right? So is it the positive? Was it
Correct.
was?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry about the microphone.
No, it's okay. It is going to be, see, that is why the workshop is designed in the way, like we're going to cover two major disciplinaries. Means we have network, we have web application. Okay, why we are covering this first? If I just straight away jump into cloud or IoT, right? Won't be having any idea, because the basic thing is we have we have the network and the web application. Okay, so if we have this get covered, definitely you can do the rest of the things with additional courses or additional training. We have in the upcoming days we'll be having the workshops for that as well. Okay, for the cloud, for the IoT, for the mobile. Okay, so this one is mainly going to be focused on web and the network. And if you feel like you are from a different disciplinary and different discipline and different department, and what are the skills that you're going to maintain or you want to need, right? So I can give you a quick hint, like you need at least basic networking skills. Okay, so this 15 days I can ask you to go brush up your networking skills. I will be covering that in the next session though. Like if you have time, just brush up your networking skills. You need it mandatory. And the skills, the web application skills also, such as PHP, HTML, JavaScript. What are all these? I'm not asking you to learn whole thing. Just get to know where we use it and how it is getting used. That's enough. And the rest of the things I'll be covering it. Okay, how PHP will be a big issue for us during the penetration testing, or how JavaScript we can use if there is any vulnerability with the JavaScript when it comes to applications. I'll be covering that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything else?
Yes, and I have a question here.
Yeah,
So for the standards, you mentioned a lot of standards such as MPT, OWASP, and so on. Are we going to go deep in these standards?
yes. Yes, coming back to the point, like yes, that's a good question actually. We're not going to stick with only one standard here. Okay. And only one standard that we're going to fully use is OWASP. Not going to miss a single point in that. We will cover each and every 10 points in OWASP. We will cover that fully. In LPT, we will use most of it. Okay, and we'll use few from the OSSTM as well and NIST as well. Okay, I'm not going to cover the ISO. Okay, because it's coming a simple, the penetration testing standard comes under the ISO auditing in like a part of it. Okay, so I won't be covering much from it, but I'll be covering, because if you want to do get ISO certified, if you go for that course directly, right, you'll be getting most of the things. You can get to know about the ISO standards and all. So the rest of the thing, the 4 standards, right, I'll be covering that. But one more thing I want to confirm, that we won't be sticking with one particular standard. For example, if you guys really prefer that, at least you would want to get specialized with one, just let me know. We can stick with LPT, okay, or OSSTM, like that. But definitely we'll be using OWASP fully. There is no question on that. Web application penetration testing, I will make you an expert. Once this particular penetration testing workshop is done, you will be fully aware of the OWASP top 10. Okay, I can assure you that. And the network penetration testing standards, that we, for the network penetration testing, we will follow LPT. That's why I've said 2, LPT and the WASP. Okay, you got answer?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Actually, 2 more question. What is the scope of work now from 2 weeks? And you mentioned that Windows 7 we need to install on VMware, so which is not supported anymore. So can we change the approach to, I don't know, Windows 10 or?
Can you please come again? I didn't get your question very well. You have 2 questions. One is what you're going to do for this 15 days, right?
Yes. For what is the scope of work on 2 weeks?
Okay. And Okay, let me answer the question first. For the scope of your of 2 weeks is first on the first 2 days, I'd be requesting for the NDA to get signed and the Google Forms. Okay, and after that, I want you to go through the request for proposal that I'm going to share it through mail. Okay, go for it. And if you have any related questions, okay, questions related to that request for proposal, you can ask me. I'll be answering that in next 2 days. Okay, and you can start preparing your proposal and submit it in the 10 days because it needs time for you to prepare everything. And you may need some Google research on pricing or how many hours that particular information gathering may take, or how many hours the black box penetration testing may take. Just Googling things and you can submit the proposal and we'll have it evaluated. See, we won't be getting any points or results or something, but at the end of workshop, you will be having the appreciations, maybe some special offers also. That is what our plan is for the workshop. Okay, for the outstanding guys who have performed really well for all the assignments with all assignments. Okay, that's the first question. Second one.
Yeah, second one. You say that mandatory is Windows 7 to install on VMware. So which is the operating system? It's not supported, and can we change an approach to Windows 10? Because if we want to make the penetration test and now on, so maybe it will be much better. I don't know. Just I'm
Yeah, that's a good
asking.
one. Yeah, you can use Windows 10. That's not an issue. Okay, so the reason that why I've said Windows 7. See, we can easily just do practice quickly with Windows 7. Windows 7 10 has some user access control and few Windows Defender is running very well, and your firewall will be creating issues. Yes, a real penetration testing, that's how your real life is going to be. But when you work with a real penetration testing, right, you will be getting all the information from the administrators, system administrators. What are the rules that you have? What are all the access control lists that you have? Okay, what are all the ports that are open or closed? If you just blindly use a firewall and the operating system is sitting behind it, and you won't be getting any live results and you'll get bored of it. Okay, so that's the reason that I told you Windows 7. And as far as for the workshop, when we are entering into the real penetration testing phase, right, means we will work with the real targets, one IP address, and we have websites to deal with. So this Windows 10 or Windows 7 is just for your practice at home. Okay, that is the real reason. You can have it Windows 10. That's not an issue.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay, I think I'm done. I think. Okay, you can write mail to me. My mail ID is sam@infosec4tc.com. You may have my mail IDs with you. Okay, just let me know for any queries and all, and I'll be sharing all the necessary documents by the end of tomorrow. Okay, on my Monday morning. Okay, and you're clear with your scope for the 15 days, next 15 days, right? What are you going to do with the assignment? And that's it. Thank you so much for listening to my voice this long. And if there is any corrections, you can write to me about that as well. And so let me stop my recording in here.